Welcome back YouTube, VST here, Venus Tech, and I have the Xiaomi 12 in my hand. Yes, that's correct, the predecessor of this phone was still the Mi 11, but Xiaomi dropped the Mi branding and right now we have a whole new Xiaomi 12 series with the 12 in my hand, the 12X, 12 Pro and very soon hopefully the 12 Ultra. Welcome to the channel guys, this is going to be the full review of the Xiaomi 12 with all the pros and the cons. And if you genuinely enjoyed content like this, you're more than welcome to subscribe for my channel and keep watching the Xiaomi 12 open air review. The first thing you'll notice me holding the phone in the hand is genuinely the size of this phone, which is actually incredible for an Android smartphone in 2022. This phone has a 6.2 inches display and is just a bit taller than the S22. This makes it one of the smallest Android headsets in the 2022, and it does really have a lot of features that I think can give the S22 a hard time. Of course, the first thing being the battery, because here guys we do have 4500 mAh, which the S22 doesn't, and this kind of guarantees a proper screen on time and a nice duration during the day. But first things first, let me just show you guys the phone itself. It does have here the button on the right hand side, so we have the power button here, also the volume rocker. On the back on the phone we have a triple camera setup, so the primary sensor is a 50 megapixel sensor, by the way powered by the Sony IMX786, and the photos and videos are very nice. You're gonna see that in a while. Down below we have the ultra wide camera and also a 5 megapixel macro lens, which I always say why and it's a gimmick. In this case I can confirm, well, that's not a gimmick, and watch the full review, you'll understand why. On the back of the phone we have the speaker grill, also the USB-C port, a port for the microphone and the SIM tray. And of course this phone has a dual speaker setup, but just see here guys, we have a tiny speaker on the top of the screen, but keep looking, we have another grill. This contributes to the sound you're gonna see later. Also of course to be mentioned that the sound is tuned by Harman Kardon. We have also an opening for the microphone, and this here on the right hand side is indeed an infrared port. Right, so you can switch off and on your ACs, your TVs, and in general just play around while you're at some bars and restaurants. So it's a very nice feature. The Xiaomi 12 is powered by the MIUI 13 and it does come with a different storage tiers. Pay attention guys, I have 8GB of RAM and also 3GB of virtual RAM. Also of course the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, which is the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, and this phone really is a flagship phone. The phone doesn't have any official IP rating, but judging here by the rubber on the SIM tray, I believe that Xiaomi just decided to not license it, and we indeed will have at least IP67. Don't take of course my words for granted, but this phone will keep you safe while you are outside on the rain. It does come with a 67-watt super fast charger guys. I was able to top the phone from 0 to 100 in almost 40 minutes, which for the size of the battery, which is 4500 mAh, is quite nice. I do appreciate if Samsung decide to do something like this in the future, at least in the more premium phones. The UFS storage is 3.1. Sadly the port down below is USB 2.1, so it doesn't really come with the most premium features, but it is indeed, I would call it, a near flagship phone. On the front we do have a 30MP selfie camera, which is capable of taking some very nice selfies, portraits as well, as you're gonna see later in the video. The screen here is FHD, has some very nice colors and also does support 12-bit colors, which is actually astonishing for a phone of this class. You can choose 120Hz and you can choose the default one, which is actually gonna be dynamically adjusted, which is very nice. It will probably not go as low as the S22 Ultra and etc. And to be honest with you, I always keep my phones on the maximum settings to enjoy the best that they can give me. So FHD Plus running on 120Hz. Also of course HDR10 and etc. All of this included here. Xiaomi 12 has an optical fingerprint reader, and yep, it is very fast, something that of course you can expect. I do prefer the ultrasonic one because of many things, but the one here is actually even way better than the one I have in my Pixel 6. The screen is very bright, and going up to the maximum while using the manual slider will not surprise you. A very bright screen that can be ideally seen in the broad daylight. I'm now using my phone under the direct sunlight, and as you can see, everything is viewable. The screen is curved around the edges, so if you are a big fan of flat displays, this phone probably is not gonna be for you, but the viewing angles are very nice for a phone of this class. And again, don't get me wrong guys, this might not be a typical flagship, although Xiaomi wants you to think it is, but why to call it a near flagship phone? And it does also support reverse wireless charging. So if you ask me what is missing from this phone to just call it a proper flagship, I will immediately tell you, it is just here on the back. This phone here has a proper camera that can do outstanding photos and videos, does also take macro photos, but there is no optical zoom like in the Pro model of it, and also like in the S22 Ultra. So this is probably the only thing that is missing, besides the fact that the screen is only FHD and not WQHD. But if you're looking for something that size, guys, you will not be able to find anything else. I want to praise Xiaomi for going with this size. I've been using this phone now for over a week, and I can tell you, once you are used to a size like this, switching back to the S22 Ultra feels like, you know, just going from a car to a jumbo jet. So, you know, the S22 is Ultra, and most of the modern flagship Android phones are very big. So probably one of the best benefits from using this phone, besides of course the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 and the camera and everything else, is just the size of this phone. Now see my hand and the size of the phone. Again, this is really very much appreciated, and I want to thank Xiaomi one more time. I'll probably be thanking Xiaomi all the time in this video, but don't think this is a sponsored video, guys. I'm gonna give you really here my honest review, because with a small size some things had to be sacrificed, and if you want to learn what they are, just keep watching. It's time to check the camera quality. So let me show you some photos that I managed to snag in while using the Xiaomi 12. Over the course of the last week, I managed to snap some very nice photos and videos, guys, and I'm gonna show you right now the best of my photos and videos so that you're able to see for yourself what this camera can do. The photos from the main camera do have very nice colors, the separation is also incredible, and one cannot be disappointed with a camera like that. Just take a look at these pictures. So I have some history with Xiaomi phones and the camera, and in most of the cases I really went using Google Camera. Not in this case, guys. So again, really very impressive photos that you're able to shoot with the main sensor. Now let's speak about the macro camera. Just see here my hand. I was impressed. In most of these phones from these segments, the inclusion of the macro camera is just there so that the manufacturer can say that they do have a triple camera setup. And in 90% the photos are really very bad. Not in this case. I'm not sure how Xiaomi did it. Is it because they're using a dedicated sensor? Is it because, you know, they kind of upped their software game? But the macro photos here are not a gimmick, and it was a pleasure for me to test this camera out. Take a look at this picture. I really believe that Xiaomi deserves a big credit for this one. You're gonna understand why. If I unzoom it, you're gonna see that my boy here is just standing still in the air. The photos that come really from the main camera are very nice and almost zero shutter lag, guys. See the hair. There are no smudges, no blurs, and it does feel really very nice to know that you're able to score pictures like this. See this picture as well. The colors are very nice, the dynamic range is outstanding, and the highlights are not overblown. It does look really the way it is supposed to look. So I would conclude that the day photos from the main camera here are just outstanding. Can we say the same about the front camera? Let's check. Sadly, this is not the case with the front camera. Often the photos really do look a bit overexposed. HDR is absolutely not coping in most of the times I was using it, but I do really hope that Xiaomi are going to be able to address this with future software updates. Luckily Gcam exists, so I was able to install the latest R-Nova 1, and this fixed the issues with my front camera. So if you're using the Xiaomi 12 or the 12X and you're not happy with the quality of the front camera, then yeah, you should know Google Camera is always there for us. Another picture shot with the main camera, and I just want you to see the colors. The green colors are green, the blue colors are blue, the sky looks exactly like it should look, there is no overexposure, dynamic range is quite nice, and overall very happy with the quality from the main camera shooting daylight. Now what about night photos? So before checking the night photos, I want you to see this one again, my boy flying, and take a look guys at this ball here. One of the best quality of the main camera of the Xiaomi 12 is that indeed it is able to stop time. So you just take the phone out of your pocket, you point it to what you want to shoot, you just take a picture, and it really does feel almost like an iPhone, because we know that iPhones are very nice for shooting kids playing and dogs walking around. And I can tell you guys that the Xiaomi 12 is really very close. Very happy to see this. Now let's check the night photos. See this picture. I was walking in the park, it was about to rain, and I was able to snag these photos. So we can just see here there is a source of artificial light, everything else pretty much in the dark, and the pictures look stunning. I'm gonna share right now one picture from the night mode. This here is Xiaomi 12 night mode, and you will not be disappointed. Let me show you something interesting so that you're able to compare. This here is the same picture shot with the normal camera, right? You can almost see nothing is visible, and this here is the same picture using the night mode. So I do believe that Xiaomi got it right. Portrait photos is also something that I think Xiaomi did right. You are also able to adjust the bokeh once the picture is shot. Of course, you don't have that many details like on the S22 Ultra playing with the studio light, and something also available on the iPhone. But the quality is very nice, the separation is good, so if you are a fan of portrait photography, Xiaomi will not disappoint you. You have the option to use several effects there. You can enhance things, you can use the whirl, you can use also hearts, and of course you have this cinematic effects. Then you can kind of pre-apply some backgrounds, and I can tell you guys, not gonna be so powerful like the editor we have in the S22 Ultra, but it is actually a very welcome addition from Xiaomi photo editing software. Let's speak about the video. The Xiaomi 12 can record 8K at 24 FPS, which is actually incredible, but don't forget, it does come with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, and this makes it possible. Also, 4K at 30 FPS and 4K at 60 FPS, and also the very good news here, optical image stabilization is present. So you can use OIS with AIS, which is electronic image stabilization. Now let me show you some of the videos that I shot for you. This is the 4K 60 FPS video on the Xiaomi 12, and I am at a very special place. That's the Sofia Zoo, and the main star here is this very big bear. I think I'm very lucky today because it was raining just until now. And yeah, why I'm lucky? Because we are able to test the high dynamic range and also really the video quality, but also the microphone, the sound quality, guys. So let me know down below in the comments, what do you think? All right, so testing the stabilization, I'm gonna run a bit in the park. Okay, I'm gonna run towards the bear. Now I'm running. Okay, I would say the video looks very nice. Dynamic range is also great, I would say. So I'm really impressed with the video that the Xiaomi 12 is able to shoot. I'm now shooting at 2x. As you know, there is no optical zoom, guys. It's just all digital. And now I'm going up to 3x, 4x, and now I'm at about 5x. Of course, there is some distortion to be observed. 4K 60 FPS, 5.1x digital zoom test video on the Xiaomi 12, guys. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Let's say test on the front camera. Sadly, it can only do FHD 60 FPS, and that's a bit weird because the Samsung can do 4K 60 also on the front camera. I'm also a bit disappointed with the dynamic range. It is not so well. At some points, my face tends to be overexposed. If I just turn right now, you're gonna see it doesn't really react so good. So in order for me to fix that, I need to click in that area here to get it adjusted, but then my face is not looking right. So I think Xiaomi are a bit struggling, and they kind of need to work on this and fix it. So the front camera has these problems also while you're shooting pics. I think it's all software. Since the camera here is 30 MPX, it actually should be very powerful to do some nice shots, and with Gcam we prove that it actually does work. Now let's check the sound quality and the volume output of the Xiaomi 12. I'm gonna play a tune and you're gonna let me know down below in the comments what do you think the quality is.
You can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range, 'cause I grind through the clouds.
What do you think, guys? My opinion is that the Xiaomi 12 has a very decent sound output and quality. Don't forget that Dolby Atmos is present and that the 3 speakers are tuned by Harman Kardon. Now let's talk about the benchmarks. I did run a couple of GeekBench tests. I'm not overwhelmed by the results and neither I'm surprised. I do get 1122 on the single core score and 3265. On the second test I did better on the multi-core score, reaching 3450 and 1222. So it is about the same as the Exynos 2200 delivers, so don't expect any miracles. My AnTuTU benchmark was 863K, which I do believe is about the same for most of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. My temperature raised from 38.4 to 39 and honestly all looked quite nice until I decided to do the 3D Mark test. My Wildlife Extreme test wasn't that bad at all because I got 1850 an overall score and an average frame rate of 11.10. And here, guys, one of the problems that I experience. If you have been following the video since the beginning, then you probably knew this was coming. What is the problem with the Xiaomi 12? Because it seems that on paper it does check all the boxes. The size is perfect, the chip is nice, the cameras are awesome, and yet with the small size, guys, I would assume that cooling is a problem because my phone was overheating every third time I was doing the 3D Mark test. This is the message of the sad story. While I was doing 3D Mark, I was getting overheating CAN-use up due to the device. So honestly, my take on this is at some point that's not bad because the phone software, in this case MIUI, is able to just restrict apps that are causing burns to the phone, right? So probably you're in a way protected, right? And this honestly was not happening to me while I was playing Asphalt or any other game, but it might be a bit disappointing, and for sure it indicates that Xiaomi 12 has a problem with cooling. So although the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 is indeed very powerful, it does generate a lot of heat. So this excessive amount of heat can cause problems, and some people do refer to the Snapdragon 810, which had the similar case some years ago. Did that affect my daily usage? No, not really. Did I have some problems while shooting 4K 60 FPS videos? No, not at all. So just take this information the way it is. Will you have any problems while using your phone as a daily driver, checking emails, shooting pictures? Not really. Will the phone heat up while you're playing graphically intensive games? Yes. Does it get really hot? Yes. Will the game stop at some point? The probable answer is yes. So you need to consider this when you are buying the Xiaomi 12. Speak about the battery life, guys, because I did so many tests and I was trying to understand what the Xiaomi 12 can do with the 4500 mAh, and the answer here is, you can just see on my screenshot, I was left with 13% of battery. I used the phone for almost like 6 hours and a half and I do get more than 3 hours. Is this enough for the 4500 mAh? Probably not, but did I get better results? Yes, let me show you. This was a test I did on another day, left with only 11% of a battery, used the phone for almost 9 hours and I got 3 hours and 16 minutes screen on time. And one more test, guys. In this situation I just had 70% of a battery, but I used the phone for more than 10 hours, as you can just see, and I did had 4 hours screen on time. So it's always a combination between Wi-Fi and mobile usage, if you are using the camera or not, if you're playing games and etc. But this phone will give you between 3 to 5, probably even sometimes 6 hours screen on time. So I would rate this, yeah, good enough for a daily driver. I will say some words about the MIUI 13 because I just believe it deserves a whole video on its own. We all know about Xiaomi's attempt to blatantly copy Apple's iOS, but I do believe that Xiaomi went a long way, and right now MIUI 13 is offering one of the best experiences that you can get on Android. It's very fluid, very nice, no lag, all the gestures are implemented in the best way, and yes, it does sometimes remind you of an iOS, but don't get me wrong, Xiaomi 13 offers plenty of other things. You have tons of special features like the sidebar, the front camera assistant, the floating windows. Let me just show you the floating windows. I'm gonna use Telegram right now. If you decide to use a floating window, you just do like this and boom, you are now using Telegram's floating window. Of course, you can drag it around everywhere you want on the screen, and it does feel very responsive and no lag at all. Things like this help Xiaomi MIUI 13 stand out in front of the competition. And remember the times we were allowed to use our optical sensor to measure the heart rate? Well, I can tell you, if you are buying the Xiaomi 12, you can indeed use this functionality. I compared this with the readings from my Garmin, and it was not really so far away. So this has been my full review of the Xiaomi 12. If you decide to spend 600 to 700 euros for this phone, then you'll get a very nice new flagship phone with a very capable camera. And don't forget, one of the best benefits, you're gonna get a phone with a very small footprint and a phone that you can get in your pocket and kneel to tie your shoes. If you have liked this video, guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, guys. Enjoy this beautiful view here, and please, you and your family stay safe until we meet in one of my next videos. With that said, VST over and bye.